Hi, I'm David with EV World News. We're talking about electric vehicles, clean energy, and the stock markets. And I'm back today with our founder and chief editor, Bill Moore. How's it going today, Bill?
Well, I'm not on top of the world. I got a vaccination yesterday, so it always takes about a day to catch up with me. So yeah, I'm here.
You're alive. Yeah,
I'm alive.
yeah. So, SpaceX has had a lot of IPO chaos, mainly
Oh my
because they're
God.
trading below IPO price now. And while it was the largest IPO in history at 1.77 trillion valuation back on June 12th, making Musk the world's first trillionaire, the stock has dropped 50% from its peak and now trading below its 135 IPO price. Um, the first earnings beat expectations um, with 7.8 billion in revenue, which was up 92% year over year versus 6.9 expected. So 7.8 versus 6.8, that's revenue. But they still posted a $540 million loss, and the stock dropped another 8% after hours due to massive capital expenditures.
Yeah, I think it's that new chip plant, isn't it? I saw a thing today that the chip plant gigafab or whatever they're going to call the thing is like nearly $17 billion to build it, and supposedly Tesla's after taxes or whatever, revenue is something like annually is like 3.8 billion.
Mhm.
So it would take all their revenue for the next what, 4 years, 5 years to be able to pay for that investment in that chip fab.
Well, we're seeing a lot of this in the AI space. I mean, we've already seen Google is spending all of their free cash flow now on chips and data center. And they're all spending it on compute because they all need it for everything that's going on with AI. I mean, I look at even a year ago, I was operating just one AI platform. Now I pay for about four, and I'm using. I will say I don't use all four every day. I probably use at least two every single day, and three often. It's very rare I'll use all four on the same day, but I'm in a given week I'm using them all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I use four. I'll just for just single tasks. I don't run any kind of long chain kinds of processing. I ask it a question, or I ask it to find a piece of information for me, and so basically that's how I use it.
when I bought my Gemini account, it was at that particular time it had surpassed all the other majors like Claude and Chat GPT, and now it's in last place. It's like it's even behind my
That's
book.
amazing. Yeah, I know. I've came across some things where what I think Claude now is the leading, but how long that lasts, I
Yeah,
don't know.
but it's barely ahead of Chemi and something else. A couple of the Chinese ones are one of them is funded by like Alibaba, and it's interesting to see because it's not got such a big lead in capability. But one of the things that, for instance, Fable does, and one of the reasons that it's really expensive to use, is it has like a whole bunch of like built-in prompts already. So when you put in something, it's already got a different framework you
Okay,
design to
one
process it.
tail, yeah, one tailored more for how the model actually works, I would gather.
Well, but a little bit of it is like to help cut down on hallucinations and to
Ah,
go back and verify everything. And, some
yeah,
things like that that you normally would have to tell it to go back and do that. Okay,
yeah.
so there's some advantage in that you have to do less prompting, let's say, and it does more of the actual heavy lifting. Whereas a lot of
Okay.
times on some of the other LLMs, I mean, I've gotten really used to that. It's not unusual for me to write out a prompt in Microsoft Word and copy and paste a whole page of stuff into AI to run my prompt. So sometimes they're really, really long. The more detail and information you can have in the prompt, the better, right?
Right.
But I'm not now on our show. I'm trying to get it to go out and help me find news articles and stories to talk about. But when I'm doing other work, I'm usually providing most of the real data unless I'm asking it.
Yeah, you're using it to build business plans and things like
Right.
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm providing most of the data that goes into it. I may provide it a whole bunch of files that I want it to aggregate so I can extract information and ask it questions about
Yeah.
what's going on and what should be necessary there. But anyways, so there's 900 million lockup shares with SpaceX that unlock on Thursday. So that's in 2 days.
Yeah, that'll be
More than
interesting.
more than doubling available shares could further tank the price despite positive earnings. Only Starlink is profitable. Space, AI, and X divisions are bleeding cash. All right. Elon's vertical integration empire. One man controls the entire stack. Oh, this is
This
one of
was
our own EV World articles.
Yeah, we I got one of the LLMs, one of the
Mhm,
AIs to
mhm.
jump on it and analyze an article that was from I think Teslarati, and this is what it came back with, which is interesting. I had a I have a concern that on the track that he's on right now, is he going to basically build a monopoly over the future of the planet?
But
Because if you control space, you control transportation, you control communication, you control, computing power and things like. Do we really want that? And of course, the AI came back, and said, well, it's not really a monopoly. I mean, there are lots of competitors out there right now. It's just that he has a more vertically integrated, right,
Mhm.
structure to his business.
Well, that's true. That's true. Although I would argue, so Musk, he controls vehicles and robots, satellites, communications, AI, and information, with X. But
Right.
he's not in none of those except for maybe the Starlink communications. I mean, he does by far have the most satellites in space. Okay, there's no question that he has the most satellites
Right.
by a long shot, but he doesn't control that space, as a private company. Or, I mean,
No.
although it's been influential in the Ukraine war, right? Because both sides were trying to
Oh,
use it for targeting and communications and things like that. And he basically turned it off for the Russians. He turned it off for Ukraine for a while, then turned it back on. Um, so there has been some things there, but I'm just saying that um, all of these are difficult financially and capability wise to enter. We time and time again, we've discussed the car business is not something that's really worked out. I mean, Tesla's like the first company in 100 years to open up in the car business and
and
stay
stay.
in business. And it looks like they're sticking around,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
They jumped all the way to having a best-selling car on the planet. I mean, no other American car has done that in a long time, right? So, um, anyways, but they're far from being a monopoly in the car business.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
they're not even
Particularly with the Chinese coming on like gangbusters
right, right.
outside of continental United States.
I kind of thought that they should have, when they really were at their peak um, value, and they were worth like 10 times what Mercedes Benz was. I thought they should have bought up Mercedes. I thought that would have actually been a valuable move to take over the world's oldest car manufacturer.
Car maker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speak. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, I think it, and there you could get into some of this issue, I think, with monopoly and some of that, but nobody's ever going to claim that Mercedes is the dominant car maker in the world. I mean, so
Right.
there's clearly people who love Mercedes Benz, right? And but it's certainly not the dominant car maker, not even dominant car maker in Germany. So
Right.
they may be
I,
the most prominent, but Volkswagen is definitely
yeah.
the biggie.
I looked at a YouTube video this week, and what it is photographs that were taken from in Berlin, Germany, in
Mhm.
and around Berlin, Germany, in the late 1880s.
Mhm.
Okay, and so what the guy did is he took these black and white photographs, colorized them, and then used AI to animate them, which is really cool. And the amazing thing is that he showed three different vehicles operating down, exclusive of, horse-drawn carriages, but motorized vehicles. All three of those motorized vehicles, one was an early experimental four-passenger electric buggy, right?
Mhm.
And another was a taxi cab, but they're all electric. I thought, this is really cool because we had long before gasoline engines, we had these electric vehicles, obviously just a handful, but running around Berlin before the turn of the 20th century.
Where's their charging stations?
Where's their charging stations? Back at their home, I would bet.
Yeah, yeah, they were. I really curious what, if they were on 110 or 220 or whatever.
Oh,
You know,
probably 220. I think they've been 220 in Europe for 50 phase.
yeah, but we're talking 140 years ago, Bill.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just curious what an electric plug looked like 140 years ago. It's kind of hard to fathom, isn't it?
I bet they just wired them,
Yeah, yeah,
They took the two leads and they put them on the
yeah.
positive and the
Well,
negative, and
everybody was probably getting a shock then. That's one of those things where you definitely didn't charge your car while you were standing in a puddle of water.
yes,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
not
baby.
like now. Remember, Mike and I did that one video talking about how you take a face cloth or a rag and you put it over the charging handle, and you dump a bottle of water on it so the car will charge faster in Texas and Arizona. And that way you cool off the charging handle so it'll charge
Oh,
put
okay,
the electrons
sure,
in
sure.
faster. And Mike and I, we were showing this, and Mike was like, "Oh my God, I give safety talks in schools sometimes, and it's like, this is one of the things we
No,
definitely
don't do
won't do."
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But, it's just funny to think about. You certainly would have done that 140 years ago. You'd had a rude awakening.
I don't know.
Uh,
We got to look into that. See what
yeah,
did they do?
yeah. Let's see. Tesla cars can use Starlink for connectivity, XAI for autonomous driving, and SpaceX infrastructure for global deployment. It creates advantages impossible for competitors to replicate. Well, I would agree with that. I mean, I think that more power to them. But that's not really quite the same. Having control of your supply chain, I don't know that really. I mean, that's not really what a monopoly looks like, but they have tended, that's one of the reasons why people like Tesla so much, is because it's like driving something else. I even had somebody who had the first Model X in Florida. He told me, sometimes I wish this was a gas car with this kind of technology, but it's just, I think part of it is he likes the vroom vroom sound.
Yeah. Well, there are
He
people.
has a
Yeah,
super fast car, but it doesn't sound fast when he's
but it
going.
does. But it doesn't sound fast, right?
Right. But
Well, I take now he could get some sound by squealing the tires,
yeah, there you
right?
go. There you go. So yeah, this type of private technology represents unparalleled control over multiple interconnected layers of the AI economy by a single individual. Well, I mean, this is going to kind of segue into the next article that comes from Tesla Summer Updates. Grok can now drive the experience, make phone calls, search and play music, adjust climate, open glove box, and answer vehicle questions, turning Tesla into a true AI assistant on wheels. And I've been wondering when this was coming, because this is one of the reasons I've been telling you I've been looking for a used car with AI
Right.
AI 4. is because I expected this to be coming. Now I'm going to have to go back and re-up my subscription to Grok,
Yeah.
which
Well, I already have that functionality. You know,
Mhm.
all I do is make sure my phone, my Android phone, connects up to the car, and I can ask it all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, I
It's
get that. I
amazing.
mean, I can do that with my phone on Bluetooth. I can talk to Gemini. I can tell
Yep.
Gemini to set an appointment on my calendar for such and such time, and Gemini will do that while I'm driving. Um, that's something that I've already figured out how to do.
Yep.
Um, but I'm just saying that it would be a little smoother to be able to do that. Just have talking to the car and um,
Rather than
you
to
know,
the phone connected to the car.
right, rather than to the
Yeah.
phone connected to the car. So there's some advantages to that, but smart navigation learns your life. Automatic navigation adapts to routines, school drop-offs, gym trips. Preferred routes prioritize your travel passings. You can set arrival energy from the mobile app. It's currently on 15 to 20% of the Tesla fleet. So rollouts technically start July 26, includes parental controls for rear screens, self-driving stats on mobile app, and custom wraps you can send from your phone. Don't know exactly what that means. Um, but anyways, I just that's something I figured it was coming because I've been
Yeah.
asking people. It's like, hey, how is Grok integrating? And nobody's been able to tell me anything on that. So now they finally. Uh, I figured it was coming, but I was so confused
Yeah.
why it wasn't already there. So now I get why that is. Let me see. BYD's humanoid robot debut in August, plus export explosion. Tend to have a robot showdown with Tesla. It's intensifying. Well, we all want to see them fight, right?
Showdown at high noon, two
Yeah,
robots, right?
get them. Yeah, that's going to be people are really going to object. We start having them, duel
Well,
with
well, that
handguns.
yeah, that reminds me of what was the movie? What was it, Real Steel or something like that? Where this guy, there was in the future, apparently not that far now. In the future, he would go around and they would have these combat between robots,
Uh-huh.
and that was the business, right?
Hmm.
We're getting there already. I mean, we've got, you probably see some of these YouTube little shorts where the robot, a Chinese robot kicks the guy in the groin. And there was one, supposedly the guy was the CEO of the robot company,
Hmm.
and he was wearing some padding and things like that. And his robot, boy, did he give him a kick and knocked him down.
Oh wow.
Now, of course, is that AI or did that really happen? But
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so
you've had the robot versus robot, in the fighting cage for years now as stuff on TV. So but they haven't been humanoid robots.
yeah,
They've looked more like
those are
Roombas.
like little
Yeah, they
vacuum
look like
cleaner
Roombas
things.
running around fighting each
Right,
other.
right.
Yeah, but some of them have been pretty interesting to see some of the designs and how far they could launch one of the other robots and toss them around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. BYD unveiling first humanoid robot at DI Space in early August, expected any day now. Plans 2 to 3 robots per dealership within 1 to 2 years to demonstrate vehicles. BYD had a record 419,000 vehicles in July, driven entirely by exports. Overseas sales hit a record of 179,000 units, which was up 124%. Now 43% of their total, while domestic sales still down 9% year over year. Let's see here. Their full target requires 530,000 a month from 419 for remaining months to hit their 5 to 5.5 million target, but July record was only 419K. Their plant in Hungary has been delayed to Q4 amid labor abuse allegations, but will likely crush 1.5 million overseas target. It's just crazy they're selling this many cars, and how quickly BYD is rising up the ranks of
Oh yeah.
car sales. And like they keep saying, their goal is to beat Toyota.
Number one. Yeah.
Yep. Um, let's see what we got here. All right. So 5 states have been selected for nuclear life cycle innovation campuses. Now, this is basically to recycle fuel. Okay. Idaho, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Utah could attract up to $50 billion in capital investment and generate $10 billion in state and local tax revenue. One of the things that I find confusing in the nuclear space is a lot of people, when they talk about nuclear waste, they don't realize it, but the real nuclear waste is from nuclear weapons. The really highly enriched uranium is
Oh
far more
yeah.
radioactive. And
Yeah.
um, when they talk about sending stuff to Yucca Mountain, all the nuclear waste has been stored at the sites where it was used, and
Right.
it's never caused a problem in the United States. And but there is an awful lot of nuclear weapons, weapons grade. Now, a lot of the uranium that's been used in fuels around the world for the last
That's
couple of
come
decades
from.
since the United States got out of it was old Soviet
Yep.
weapons grade. And they took that and they parsed it out and mixed it with lesser enriched uranium and turned it back into low enriched uranium by mixing it
Right.
into a thinner amount.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as highly enriched because you enrich weapons grade to 90%. And the old style light water reactors, Gen 2 and the early Gen 3s, run them like 3 to 5% enriched uranium. That's a huge difference. In fact, you're classified as highly enriched when you hit 20%. We did a video on the nuclear channel talking about why is it that a whole lot of nuclear fuel goes to 19.75% enrichment? Because a lot of the advanced
You're right
reactors,
below the level.
you have to
Yeah.
be right below the line. It gives you just
Yeah.
enough wiggle room that you don't accidentally be
Well,
classified as highly enriched, because then it
right.
changes all the rules. And
Then you become a target.
yeah, 20% still isn't weapons grade. You don't even hit weapons grade until you're at least at 80%. And anyways, it's but still that's the threshold. So you got all this fuel that's being enriched. So your Gen 4 reactors require the advanced nuclear fuels, or HALEU, high assay low enriched uranium, which is this
Oh,
19.75% uranium.
listen to this guy. I
Right,
love it.
right. Whereas your traditional, so the guy from the University of Nebraska that just went public as Hadron, um,
Okay.
I would guess, I don't even think the guy's even, I don't think he's even 30 yet. He's a University of Nebraska engineering student. He's a CEO of Hadron Energy.
Okay.
And
I'll have
they
to look
are,
that up.
yeah, I found him randomly on something I was researching a few weeks ago. We've never talked about him on the show. But, anyways, um, they are doing old style light water reactors as SMRs. Okay. So
Okay.
they're still not doing the stuff I've talked about that is absolutely safe, or I
Right.
shouldn't say absolutely, but human can't really screw it up. Okay.
Right.
You can't have Homer Simpson trip, have a few too many drinks and hit the wrong button,
Pull
right?
pull a plug.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But their thing is they feel they can bring these reactors to market quickly because they can get access to the fuel, because
Okay.
the HALEU, or high assay low enriched uranium, and it's only called low because it's below 20.
Right.
Okay, it's higher than traditional, but he only needs the 3 to 5% enriched uranium, which is plentiful.
Okay.
So he's eliminating one of the problems in the
Which
supply
was
chain.
availability of fuel. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, these light water reactors, that's what people have been using basically for 80 years, right? So it's even less. It's technology with more history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Although,
this, of course, with that, obviously, with nuclear, I guess you and Mike discussed this earlier, we have this problem in Europe. We have the low water and the drought, and there are sandbars. I just saw a photograph today of sandbars in the
Sandy.
Rhine River that used to protect this castle, right?
Yeah,
That was there, and I think that's one of the castles you see when you watch the Viking, ship advertisements, and,
yeah.
and this thing's cruising by, and it's dry land now. So you obviously have to have that. So what impact is that having? What would that have on this guy? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but it is going to require the need for water for cooling those, which is
Yeah,
something, when I look at different designs um, in the Gen 4, which, if you're listening there, and there's no Gen 4 reactors feeding energy to the grid in North America yet. They're coming. They do exist in China with U.S. technology.
and I
Um,
think those are built like out in the desert or something, aren't they?
yeah. Well, I'm not sure where. Okay, so Valor is one of the four companies that have gone critical in the past month, or let's say the last 5 weeks. And I believe that theirs is a high temperature gas reactor. I'm not 100%. I think it's an HTGR, which doesn't use water. It is fourth generation. It's just not connected to the grid yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so four companies managed. Oklo was the last one. They just got it done. Their thing was they were the first ones to do construction for a facility for it and have it go live. The other ones were just kind of in a lab, but the construction still happened at Idaho National Labs. But and local Omaha company Kiewit did the construction and delivered it on time. So good for Kiewit.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So that didn't really make the news. I'm like kind of shocked. Like I
Yeah.
see them, and because one of my tennis team captains is the comptroller for Kiewit, and they just created their nuclear division because there was no need for nuclear construction for the last 30, 40 years. So why would they
Yeah.
be having
Exactly.
that division? They just created
Yeah.
it. They're doing all right with it. They partnered with Oklo, and I think they have a couple of other jobs too.
So where is this one? Is it like what,
It's at
Wyoming
Idaho
or
National Labs.
Idaho National Lab? Okay.
Yeah, but
So
Oklo,
Idaho, that's what I said.
yeah, but
Wyoming. Yeah.
Oklo's, on our ticker symbol here. We'll see it pass by here in a minute. Let me see, but everything's red today. Well, no, new scales
Yeah,
up a little.
there's
That's a low number
Oklo.
for them.
They're green
Nano
today.
up a hair. Here we go. Here comes Oklo. Oklo up 5% at $46. They reached $191 last year. Okay, that's just sad. They're still at one-fourth that, and there's SpaceX at about 132, down 5% today. So it had gone back up above its 135 price, but yeah, and then Tesla's not doing so great. 331. They were at
Yeah.
around 480, 490 not that long ago. Rivian, yeah, everything just kind of lackluster. Who knows what's going on there? Um, I really haven't been doing a good job of trying to see what's going on with some of these stocks lately. It hasn't been as big of a case. I need to get a Deeb back on here occasionally and do a
Yeah. Yeah.
show with him. Let's see. Nuclear Renaissance accelerating Zia core microreactor achieved criticality. So I'm not familiar with this. I hadn't heard ZIA core microreactor achieved criticality. Not heard of them. Kronos microreactor selected for Air Force bases. New Jersey ordering procurement of at least one new nuclear plant. That'll be a big plant. People are still building the old style cooling tower, and those are generation 3 plus. Okay, they're safe. There's never been an issue with a Gen 3 nuclear reactor. All of your major incidents were either Fukushima was a Gen 2, and
Oh,
the
okay.
Chernobyl was like between an RBMK reactor was between a 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And it was real early, really old tech. But
And of course, 3 Mile Island, that would obviously be
yeah, that was a
okay.
Gen 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's not been issues with the newer stuff. And it's really interesting because until people started dragging me into the nuclear space, kicking and screaming, I was like, no, no nukes, no nukes, no nukes. And it's like, and then once I figured this out, then I was like, we'll go talk to one of my friends who was one of the founders of Earth Day. He was like, he lectured me for 15 minutes without shutting up about how bad it was to be getting into nuclear. And then I started showing him stuff, and he started doing research. It's like, okay, I'm kind of neutral on this now.
Yeah, well, that's sort of where I am still.
Yeah, and I get it. I get it. I mean, it's still there's most of the nuclear energy out there. 90% of it is still Gen 2 or older. A lot of these plants they're bringing back online, they're still going to be Gen 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is obviously a concern because you got, the potential of that radiation things doing, micro cracking of the piping and
Mhm.
all kinds of things that could potentially be a problem. I mean, they gave them what those original lifespan was 40 years, and they
Right.
reached 40
Now they're
years. They
going to
turned
80.
them off. Now they're fingers crossed. Of course,
I know. I mean,
we don't. I mean, we have the Coopers, plant down the river here. Blair, of course, is not. Fort
it's
Calhoun
missing.
is not
It's
there
missing. It's
anymore.
farmland now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe that
Although
they
I assume are the rods still there?
yeah, so the nuclear waste is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still stored in something, but they actually removed all of the buildings, everything. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to fathom that it's just gone.
And
But
where did they put all those bricks and concrete and rebar?
they storing it in North Omaha. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding. They would probably have it by the coal-fired power plant or something. No, I really don't
yeah.
know where they put it. I
Yeah.
mean, there's enough pollution over there anyways. A little
Oh, yeah.
nuclear radiation wouldn't be a bad thing.
Oh, I used to live up there, so be careful here, buddy.
I know. And it's really sad. They keep trying to close the coal plant up there, and they can't because we're 600 megawatts short here in the local area of energy for the data centers.
4 of them.
Four coal power plants. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, four data centers.
Oh, 4 data centers. Yeah.
And somebody was telling me, I just heard that they had over in Gretna. Where did I hear this? Just recently, over in Gretna, they had what's the term when they tell you, hey, we're going to, reduce the amount of electricity being fed into your local grid. What is that? But anyway, that because you've got right around there, you've got 2, data centers right around that little community.
You'd think all of the spending on data centers would be going into Quebec. So Quebec has the cheapest power in North America. I remember when China outlawed Bitcoin for like the 5th time. I had some mining companies wanting locations, and that was part of what we were looking at was could we do something in Quebec, and we could get power. This was like 5 years ago for like 3.5 cents a kilowatt hour, and which is ridiculously cheap because it was all hydro. There's no shortage of water for cooling there. And there's all these things, and when you start talking about how data centers are with water and cooling, you certainly have issues. Anyways,
I'm just curious, where does that water come from? Is that from winter snow melt up there?
I guess that's a lot of it. I don't know, but they have moving water. So, I don't even know what direction it's going. I mean, is it flowing to Hudson Bay? Is it flowing? I think it's flowing into the Great Lakes.
Possibly, or into the, what do they call that channel? Oh, come on, Bill. I can't think of it. I hate it. No, the
St. Lawrence
Seaway. Yes.
Yeah. It's probably dumping into there, but I don't know. Anyways, Bill, that's all the time we've got for today.
Hey, that's all I'm up for.
All right.
I'm
Yeah. I
gonna
hope
go
you
back
feel
and take a
better.
nap.
Yeah. Well, it's no fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll be back, folks, with engineer Mike Herzog on Friday, and I'll be back with Bill next week. Otherwise, folks, have a great week. And thanks for
All right.
watching.
Thank you.